This is Rampage Reviews, the Cruiserweight Classic for September 7th, 2016. So this is the last of the semi-finals of the Cruiserweight Classic tonight. We have two matches. We have Zack Saber Jr. taking on Noam, and TJ Perkins taking on Swann. I'm still sort of blown away at this point. Our first match was Zack Saber Jr. Versus Noam. So these guys know each other really well. Super technical match. It's amazing the fluidity these two have with each other. It's a lot of working over the limbs. Zack Saber Jr. working over the arms. Noam working over the leg. I love Morrow's comments that Noam is an Oasis fan. So his finishers, the champagne super knee bar. Anything I try to do to describe this match is going to fall short. It's a technical masterpiece of manipulating limbs, moves to moves, holds to holds. It's amazing. The problem with a live crowd for it is there isn't a lot of high spots. There's a quick transition sometimes, which pops the crowd. But an amazing fluid transition doesn't grab their attention the same way. It's an awesome match. In the end, Zack Saber Jr. gets the win with a variation on the Rings of Saturn. He's got his legs wrapped around one arm, wrenching back on the other arm with his arms. He's got an injured arm, so he basically pops his leg up and over, and it looks like he popped Noam's shoulder out of his socket. It basically went straight back. It was scary looking, and the ref called for it immediately at that point. I don't even know if Noam actually gave up. As soon as that shoulder moved, boom, it was done. Insane match. Technical masterpiece. But you'd have to retrain wrestling fans to appreciate that. Which makes me sad. But an amazing match. From there, we go on to my new gold standard for what I like in wrestling. TJ Perkins versus Swann. Energy, high flying, technical moves, submission holds, reversals, storytelling. This started off with how do you even go into this? It started with a ton of high-flying moves, various reversals. Swann basically doing his showboating, and then he locks TJ Perkins into basically a headlock with his legs. And Perkins does this little bounces out of it up to his feet. Little dab. And boom. And Swann looks so offended that someone else would work the crowd. It's beautiful. A few exchanges later, he sort of does a little Perkins dance move, and Perkins gets the same way. They keep going back and forth. Through the course of the match, you've got Perkins who's hurt his ribs have been worked over his side, and you've got Swann who, at one point, takes a really sick bump to his knee on a moonsault to the outside, at which point Perkins focuses that knee for the rest of the match. And it's amazing. Like, he locks on the knee bar. Swann gets to the ropes, and he holds it for like 4.5 out of the 5 count. You can tell he's just desperate at that point. In the end, Swann gets up to his feet, goes for like a last-ditch dive. I think he's going for that diving, jumping DDT again. But TJ Perkins catches him up on his shoulder, hits a variation on the Good of Sleep where he basically takes him from fireman's carry, throws him up, and kicks him in the head. His opponent still lands on his feet, and then he rolls him up into the knee bar with the bad knee, grapevines it, And Rick Swann taps in the middle of the ring, and TJ Perkins moves on. And I am super excited by this. I've been behind TJ Perkins since day one. I've dug his work since I ran into him as Manic or Suicide back in TNA. And to see him moving into the quarterfinals is amazing. So next week's a live show. It's 2 hours. And there's going to be, we know at this point, 3 matches for the Cruiserweight Classic. We're going to have Grand Metalik take on Zack Saber Jr., which should be insane. I don't know how the high flying is going to mix with the technical reversals, but if we're going to go Lucha Libre and combine them with technical reversals, my mind could explode. And for everything I enjoyed about TJ Perkins versus Rick Swann, TJ Perkins taking on Kota Ibushi, mind blown as well. And the winners of those 2 matches will face off. If I had to guess, I would say we see Zack Saber Jr. over Grand Metalik. Against odds, I'm going to go with TJ Perkins over Kota Ibushi. And I go with TJ Perkins to take it all in the end. I think he will also be your first Cruiserweight champion on Raw. That's right. I'm amazed. I'm out of breath still. I was yelling at the TV as my wife was telling me while watching this. But it's a great night of wrestling. I've watched 3 shows tonight, being NXT Lucha Underground, the Cruiserweight Classic, and TJ Perkins versus Rick Swann, easily match of the night. So that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments down below. Please like, please subscribe, please share. Use the hashtag right there, Rampage Reviews. And we'll see you next week for the last episode of the Cruiserweight Classic.